Sir, start madla. I welcome you all to our first online class in industrial management. This is a new initiative introduced in the area of diploma education. The obvious objective is to share the subject expertise across different polytechnics of our state to make the teaching learning process more interesting and more productive. I assure you to put in the best of my effort to make this effort fruitful and beneficial to the student community. I appreciate the personal interest and support of our beloved Director of Technical Education, Shri H.U. Talwar, in conceiving this innovative idea and implementing it in a short span of time. I believe this will be a milestone in the onward journey of technical education of our state. Let's see how do we go about. Sir, I have shared my PowerPoint. I am Abdul Khader from KPT Mangalore. Let's see how do we go about in our presentation. Please bear with me. Let me run the PowerPoint. Just 1 minute. So just 1 minute. I will restart my PowerPoint. Yes. Let us see how do we go about. Series of online classes to cover most of the important topics as per the syllabus. Let's make a plan. Let's decide how do we go about. This being a new experiment, the fact remains that we are in uncharted waters. At the same time, let's proceed with a positive attitude and enriching. Right at the outset, we need to understand that there is a fundamental difference between this subject and other technical subjects which you learn. Science is organized knowledge. There are two types of sciences: exact science and social science. Physics is an exact science. Thermodynamics is an exact science. In exact science, you have perfectly verifiable rules and principles. In exact science, if you repeat an experiment n number of times, you will get almost the same result. Concepts will have same definitions. Laws of gravitation does not change from place to place. Newton's laws are the same whether you study it in India or in any other country. In social science, such an exactness is not there. If you repeat an experiment with a different set of people or with the same set of people at different times, you may get altogether different results. Psychology and education are social sciences. Management is also a social science. So it lacks the exactness that an exact science has. For the same word, you can have a variety of different definitions in a social science. So this will need a different skill and approach to manage this subject. Here, there may not be one universally accepted definition for a concept. Instead, there may be different set of definitions addressing different dimensions of the same concept. Many times, the definitions are based on certain context. Another common problem which the student face in this subject is that they understand the concepts, but they fail to reproduce it in the examination. Let me ask you, what is management? Not easy. You may say management is managing people. When you use the word managing, that does not become the definition of management at all. This will apply to most of the concepts in management. The point is, even when you internally know what is management, putting into words is not easy. It means that you need to practice writing or expressing your answers immediately after studying. Otherwise, you may not be able to clearly express what you really know. In addition, in social science subjects including management, we need a better command on the language and vocabulary. Another salient feature of management is that it deals with people. Unlike machines, people have got emotions. To the same stimulus, people may react differently, and the same person may react differently to the same stimulus at different times. If you look at the picture, see the same person at the different emotions. The point is that the human beings are not exactly predictable like machines. And this unpredictability makes the subject more complex and at the same time more interesting. Let us look at an organization consisting of only 3 people. There is one person, Rama, one person, and the third person, Soma. There is a direct relationship between these people. Direct relationship between Rama and Bhima, and the relationship between Rama and Soma. There is a direct relationship between the Bhima and Soma, both are subordinates. Now, this is a direct relationship. In the presence of this relationship will get altered. That means there is a new relationship between Rama and Bhima in the presence of Soma. Similarly, there is a direct relationship here in the presence of Bhima. This gets altered. That means there is a new set of relationship between Rama and Soma in the presence of Bhima. Similarly, between these 2 people, there is a direct relationship. This gets altered. The boss means even with the just 3 people, if the relationship is so complex, you imagine the complexity of relationship involved in a huge organization involving hundreds of people. Now let me tell you something about memory. When you listen to a lecture, you receive the content, but the content remains in your short-term memory, and after some time, the short-term memory evaporates. You need to transfer the content from short-term memory to long-term memory. For that, you need to revise on the same day. I will provide you the materials after each class. You have different options. I will provide you the printable which you can read. I will provide you the same presentation on your PC. These days, the people are addicted to mobile. Let us make a good use of the mobile gadget of the students. You can download it onto your smartphone and you can read wherever you go. And all my content I will upload to this site so that you can download it, use it. graphics.kbts.com. Please remember that this IM is in small letters. Of course, the entire session will be available on the YouTube. But I request you content the same day so that you are able to transfer it from the short-term memory to the long-term memory where it stays for a longer period of time. Please study with the intention of gaining an in-depth knowledge into the subject. Please don't keep passing examination as our aim. Always keep the bar high. We can raise our standards only when we keep the bar high. In the end, you will have to answer the IA test as well as the semester end examinations. Whether you like it or not, there is no escape from examinations. So let us be well prepared to face the examination. Please remember that we always plan. Not planning is also a plan. When we are not planning, we are actually planning to fail by default. Let's have a quick look at the question paper, the pattern. In the end examination, you will have two parts, the part A and part B. Part A will contain 9 questions of 5 marks each and you will have to answer 6 questions. Part B will have 10 questions of 10 marks each and you will have to answer 7 questions. Totally it comes to 70, 30 plus 70 and 100 marks. That's the end examination question pattern. Let's now have a quick look at syllabus. The unit 1 is on basics of management. In this unit, we will be discussing basic concepts and principles of management, types of business organizations, functions of management, leadership, communication process, and the essentials of motivation. In Unit 2, we look at project management, market survey, plant layout, types of production, production planning and control, critical path method, and program review and evaluation techniques, what is known as PERT. In Unit 3, we will study material management, which includes purchase, stores, inventory control, and codification. We will also briefly touch upon MRP and ERP, just-in-time production with respect to inventory control. In Unit 4, we look at quality control, different tools of quality control, and ISO 9000 quality management system. In Unit 5, we will discuss plant maintenance and also industrial safety. We will also discuss the classes of fires and suitable fire extinguishers. Unit 6 is on social issues and environment. Here we will discuss the concepts of waste management, rainwater harvesting, global warming, ozone layer depletion, acid rain, etc. On my part, I will try to make it as interesting and easy as possible, but Your active participation is the key to success. Unless you actively participate, we may not go far. So I request you to actively participate, try to understand as much as possible, ask questions, revise, so that the sessions will be more useful to all the students. We also, please remember that the making the class effective and interesting is the joint responsibility of both of us. Let us do it well. Let's make all the sessions more useful to all of us. The feedback has got an important role in the teaching learning process. Let me explain with the help of a story. Once a teacher wanted to demonstrate the ill effects of alcohol. He brought 2 jars, one jar containing water and the other jar containing alcohol. He also brought an earthworm. First he put the earthworm into the jar containing water. It swam and came out after some time. Then he put the same earthworm into the jar containing alcohol. After some time the earthworm died. The teacher was very happy. He thought that he had effectively demonstrated the ill effects of alcohol. But just before leaving, he wanted to ask the audience what they understood. Do you know what they understood? Yes, you're right. They understood that if you drink alcohol regularly, you will not have worms in your stomach. This should not happen to our class. So, I request you your feedback. I need your feedback for a reality check. Obviously, I can't see my back. You are the mirror through which I can see whether the classes are useful or not. Please feel free to give your feedback. You can also send the mail. Your feedback helps me to improve the future presentation in order to meet your requirements. Please note, you can send your feedback to make the future classes more effective. Let's remember that life is much bigger than industrial management, thermal engineering, mechatronics, and all subjects put together. Life is much more profound, complex, and meaningful, and precious. In fact, each moment of life is precious. So what you have to remember is that we learn for life, not just for passing examinations. Treat just passing examinations as the aim of studying a subject. Let us study with the intention of getting an insight into the subject much above the question paper requirements. Gradually, you will forget the theories and principles which you studied, but the insight will remain. The final result of education is this insight. Education is what remains when you forget everything that you have studied. My best wishes for a long journey together. Let us now make the first step. Let's now take the first step into our syllabus. Please remember that even 1,000-mile journey begins with one step. So, hello. Otherwise, continuous ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಹೌದಾ? ಹೌದಾ? ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಹೌದಾ? ಓಕೆ 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 ನನಗೆ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾ? ಓಕೆ ಹೌದಾ? Okay, okay. Okay, okay. No, no, ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. Okay, okay, okay. YouTube ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಆಯ್ತಾ. Welcome to the first unit on basics of management. This unit deals with basic terminologies used in industrial management and certain concepts which are fundamental to industrial management. These concepts will enable us to understand the subsequent chapters better. It is essential to have a clear understanding of each concept, just not a vague idea. Let's have a quick overview of what is that we will be doing in the remaining part of this presentation. First, the organization, administration, and management. Discussing. These are the common terms used in any management book, and we need to have a very clear idea of these three concepts. So let us first see the meaning and concept of these three terms. We'll move on to Henry Fayol's contribution. Henry Fayol is one of the pioneers of scientific management. His contributions are monumental in changing the way the management was looked at. It is because of these efforts the concepts of management was transformed from thumb rule to scientific management. Let's have a look at 14 principles of management. First, let us see what is an organization. Organization is basically a collection of people, but any group of people do not form an organization because in addition to being the collection of people, everybody in the organization should have a common objective. That is, they should work for a common purpose. In addition, they should be working as per a plan. So organization is a group of people working together in a designed way for a common objective. In this way, if you look at KPT or any institution, there are a number of people. There is a common objective. People work as per a defined plan. So that becomes an organization. It applies to every factory. Group of people work together for a common objective with a definite plan. If you come to an industrial scenario, an organization is the coordination of men, materials, and machines in such a way to obtain maximum output with ease and efficiency. That is another way to look at the management. Now, I used an important word.
Karnataka Polytechnic control.
So, organization is a group of people working together in a designed way for a common objective. An organization is the coordination of men, materials, and machines in such a way to obtain maximum output with ease and efficiency. Let us come to the second term. So I used an important word, what is known as coordination. Let us look at this word in a little more detail. Let me illustrate with a story. In olden days, the resources were scarce. People didn't have the shirts like these days. In those days, a boy got a prestigious award and he had to take it in a public function. His problem was that he didn't have a good shirt to wear while receiving the award. The award ceremony was scheduled for the next day. At home, he had his mother and sister. They sat together after dinner and decided that he can wear his father's shirt but the shirt was 1 inch longer for him. So they decided that they can cut it by 1 inch short, and after that all three went to bed. After some time, mother didn't get sleep. She was anxious for her son's award. She got up, cut the shirt short by 1 inch and went to sleep. After some time, the sister got up. She thought that the mother and brother will be busy next day. To help them, she cut the shirt by 1 more inch and went to sleep. After some time, the boy himself got up. He didn't want to disturb his mother and sister. He himself cut the shirt by 1 inch and went to sleep. In the morning, the shirt, instead of being 1 inch long, was 2 inches short. What went wrong? Was there any lack of cooperation? Absolutely not. There was perfect cooperation. Each one was trying to help the other person, but they didn't make a plan about who has to do what at what time. This is what the coordination is. Coordination is working together with an understanding of who has to do what when. Let's move on to the next word called administration. An organization runs on its policies and procedures. These policies are decided at the highest level in an organization. The function of laying down these policies and procedures is what is known as the administration. So administration can be defined as a function of laying down broad policies and procedures in an organization. It involves taking major policy decisions of the organization. Now let us see the role of management. Management is an executive function of translating the policy decisions laid down the administration into action. It is concerned with the day-to-day decision making in an organization. Management can also be defined in another way. Management can be defined as the process of designing and maintaining an environment in which individuals working together in groups efficiently accomplish their aims. Let's now discuss the broad duties and responsibilities of management. People need a peaceful and conducive environment to work. Management provides such an environment by maintaining discipline. Everybody is not fit for all works. Management does a judicious distribution of work. Another duty of management is to coordinate the works of different people at all levels. Ensuring quality is another responsibility of management. Management arranges for training for upgrading the skill of the people working for the organization. Good management is always growth oriented, so innovation and developing new ideas are part of management duties. Materials are part of any organization. Properly storing, recording, and managing the material is another duty of the organization, duty of management. Finally, the making payments and keeping proper records of all payments is another important duty of management. Let us now consider an organization with an organization chart. Say in the organization, this general manager and one works manager on sales manager, and below works manager there is a purchase officer, production superintendent, and stores officer. Below production superintendent we have got inspector and foreman. This is a small organization. Top level we have got three people here: the general manager, works manager. They take the major decisions of the organization. We call it the top level management or the top management. Then we have got intermediate people, the purchase officer, superintendent, and stores officer. They have got intermediate for the authority. They have got less authority than the top management, but more authority than management. They form what we call the middle management. Then we have got So the inspector and foreman, they are at the lowest level of management, part one is the lower management. They are directly above the workers. This is the level, different levels of management if you look at from inside the management, but obviously to an outsider, the entire management is viewed as one. Now let us move on to the contributions of a very important person in the management known as Henry Fayol. He is known as father of general administration. Fayol published a book in 1915 called General and Industrial Administration of a Large Organization. This book falls into two parts. In the first part, he divided all the industrial activities into 6 categories. In the second part, he gave 14 principles of the management. Now we will be discussing these 14 principles of management in detail. Let us first list it. The first principle is division of labor, and then authority and responsibility, discipline, unity of command, unity of direction, subordination of individual interest to general interest, remuneration, centralization, scalar chain, order, equity, stability of tenure, initiative, and the last principle he gave in French words because he is from France, esprit de corps. Now let us see each of these principles in detail. The first principle refers to the division of work. There should be proper division of work in the organization. Fayol believed that the specialization is to be achieved while dividing the work. He wanted to achieve specialization by allotting the same work to the same person so that he becomes a specialist over a period of time. Obviously, the specialization will increase the output as well as the quality of the output. Coming to the specialization, there are certain merits of specialization. Specialization will enhance the skill of the person, which leads to better quality as well as the quantity of output. The products produced will be economical because of specialization. Complex operations can be divided into simpler operations so that less skilled workers can do the job. Obviously, specialization will help a person to get insight into the work, which will lead to new discoveries and new inventions. But specialization also has its disadvantages. Let me narrate a scene from a Charlie Chaplin's film, The Great Dictator. There was a worker who joins a factory. He is given a job where he sits in his place in a room. He is given a set of bolts and a spanner. A shaft comes in front of him. All he has to do is to insert the nut into the shaft and rotate it twice with a spanner. Then the shaft moves on to the next room. He has to do it continuously for the entire shift duration. That's his job. At home, his family members ask, what does his factory do? He says, I don't know what my factory does, but what I do is insert the nut and rotate it twice. As far as I am concerned, that's what my factory does. On a street, when he finds a lady with a big button, he feels like rotating twice with his spanner. The point I want to make is, even if he is doing one work, he should have an idea of the entire working of the organization. So the specialization many times narrows down the mentality of the person. In addition, the people are not machines. We are not cut out for monotonous type of work. It induces mental stress and fatigue. The change of work reduces the fatigue. Workers may also find it difficult to find jobs in other factories as they know only a small area of work. These are the disadvantages of specialization. Let us now move on to the next concept, that is the second principle put forth by Henry Fayol for efficient management. That is an authority and responsibility. He says there should be judicious delegation of authority and responsibility. Let us say there is a manager, there is a subordinate. This person has got authority over this person. So what we mean by the authority is the right to decide, act and command. That means he gives some instructions to the subordinate. Now the subordinate has got an obligation to carry out the work assigned by the superior, can call it as the accountability. In general terms, there's also sometimes referred to as the responsibility is the obligation of the to carry out the work assigned by the superior. What Fayol says is that there should be judicious authority, responsibility. But we need to remember 2 points in this delegation. One is the co-equality of authority and responsibility. If you give a person responsibility, you need to give an equal amount of authority. Without authority, you will not be able to carry out the responsibilities. One. And second principle is that the responsibility cannot be delegated. A person can delegate his authority, but even if he delegates authority to the next person, the responsibility of getting the work done still remains with him. That is, it is not possible to delegate the responsibility. Let us now move on to the next principle of Henry Fayol, that is discipline. Fayol believed that discipline is absolutely essential for smooth working of any organization. Maintenance of discipline requires 4 things. 1. Good supervision at all levels. Second, a clearly understood agreements is necessary for enforcing discipline. If there is no common understanding of rules and regulations, it is not possible to enforce discipline. Thirdly, justice and impartiality in the application of penalty is absolutely necessary for maintaining discipline. Fourthly, without effective communication, we will not be able to enforce discipline. These are the 4 natural ingredients for maintaining discipline within the organization. Let's now move on to the next principle, that is the unity of command. Unity of command says that one person should receive orders from one and only one boss. I have shown 2 figures. In this figure, we can notice that this person receives instructions only from this person. Similarly, this person receives instruction only from this person. Same case with this person also of command. If you look at this figure, you notice that this person from this person as well as from this person. That means there are 2 bosses to the same person. That is the case also. Receiving instruction from 2 the persons above him, this person also. That means the unity of command principle. The unity of command principle says that one person should receive orders from one and only one boss. Next principle is unity of the direction. Unity of direction means that one head and one plan for a group of activities having the same objective. A cart cannot move if the 2 wheels are moving in different directions. Similarly, work cannot progress without a single plan and one leader. That's what the unity of direction tells. Next principle talks about the subordination of individual interest to the general interest. One doesn't join for a job with the noble aim of uplifting their company. It is true that he joins to earn his livelihood. He has his personal interest, but if a conflict arises, the general interest of the company must prevail over the personal interest of the employee. That is what the Subordination of individual interest to general interest means a person should never allow his personal interest to prevail over the general interest of the company. Coming to the next principle, it talks about remuneration. Remuneration is the wages paid to the workers for the effort put in by him. How much is the right remuneration? It's always a difficult question. But ideally, the remuneration should be fair and satisfactory to both the employers and employees. Employer should not feel that he is paying too much for too little work. At the same time, employee should not feel that he has put so much effort and he is getting peanuts. It should be satisfactory to both employer as well as the employees. Next principle talks about the specialization. Specialization means the all authority retained at a particular point. I have shown two figures. This figure absolute specialization, all powers are at this point. Everybody about the progress, about the work. That means all authority is concentrated at this point. Now there is another figure, maximum authority, but he has delegated some of his authority to him, some of the authority to another person, some of the authority here. This is what is known as the decentralization. For efficient working of an organization, the company has to plan the necessary amount of decentralization. The company cannot perform with absolute power concentration at one point. Next principle talks about the scalar chain, that is the flow of authority and responsibility. The principle states that the flow of authority and responsibility should be along a line. Let me illustrate with an example. If you have an organization with different positions, there is a works manager. Sorry, it's repeated. The foreman, the workers. Now, this is a line of authority. So he gives instruction to this person, he gives instruction, and similarly, the instructions flow. This I will call it as a line of authority. Now we have got the other way around. This is called the line of responsibility. He is responsible to the work to him. This person is responsible to him. This person is responsible to him. Finally, this person is responsible to this person. That is the flow of authority and responsibility. Obviously, as you can see here, the authority and responsibility flows along a line here. The line of authority, the line of responsibility. Coming to the next principle, it talks about order. What is order? Order means a place for everything in its place with respect to material, or a place for everyone and everyone in its place with respect to people. A factory must be in order so that every material can be taken out easily and every person can be located easily. Coming to the next. Hello. A factory must be in order such that every material can be taken out easily and every person located easily. That's what the order is about. Next principle talks about equity. Management must treat all employees justly and kindly. That's what equity is. Equity is not equality. Let me illustrate with a picture. If you look at this picture, that's what equality. That's not equity. Everybody is given. Now they have to manage with that. But this doesn't serve a purpose. This is also not justice. If you look at it, has got the equity. The people are given different facilities and different provision, but everybody is able to do the work. That's what the equality. This is what equity is. What we need in an organization is equity. The management must treat all workers justly and kindly. Moving to the next principle of management. Frequent turnover of managers is not good for an organization. An average worker who stays is better than a brilliant manager who comes and goes. Managers need time to improve their skill and enhance their efficiency. That is stability. Who stays is better than a brilliant manager. Managers need time to improve their skill and enhance their efficiency. Next principle, the ability how to take decisions. Must have high level of initiative. Principle is the French words. It means a sense of harmony and union among workers. Let us come to the next. We will have a quick We'll test. Here's a question. I've given a figure. The above figure violates which principle? 4 answers. Unity of direction, unity of command, unity of structure, all of the above. I'll give 15 seconds to answer that. Yes, the answer is unity of command. It says that they should do one and only one boss for anybody. We'll come to the next question. A place for everything and everything in its place. A place for everyone and everyone in its place is called 4 answers. A system, structure, discipline, order. Just think of your answer. Yes, the right answer is order. A place for everything in its place is called order. We'll move on to the next question. The right to decide, act, and command is called power, authority, responsibility, ability. The right answer is yes, authority is the right answer. Authority is the right to decide, act, and command. Which of the following statement is true? Responsibility cannot be delegated. Authority cannot be delegated. Both authority and responsibility cannot be delegated. Both authority and responsibility can be delegated. Please think of the right answer to the right statement from the four. Yes, right answer is the responsibility cannot be delegated. Now let's have a quick review of what we have done in today's presentation. We started with understanding the basic differences between social science subjects and the management subjects, and the common difficulties faced by the students in the management subject. Then we went on to discuss the three words: organization, administration, and management. Organization is a group of people working together for a common objective in a designed way. Organization is the coordination of men, machines, and materials in such a way to obtain maximum output with ease and efficiency. Then we went on to discuss the second word: administration. Is the function of laying down major policies and procedures in an organization. Is an executive function of translating the broad policies laid down by the administration into action. It is concerned with the day-to-day decisions of the organization. Then we went on to discuss the different principles proposed by Fayol. In fact, the 14 principles. First principle talks of division of work, and it talks about specialization. The second principle states that the authority and responsibility should flow along a line. The third principle talks about the discipline and the necessity of maintaining discipline in an organization. The fourth principle tells about unity of command. It says one person should receive orders from one and only one boss. It talks about unity of direction, which receives unity of direction, which talks of one leader and one plan of action for one group of activities. The principle, this next principle talks about subordination of individual interest to general interest. Remuneration, which should be fair. Employer as well as employees. The next principle talks about decentralization and the need for proper decentralization. Chain talks about the flow of authority and responsibility along the line. Order tells about a place for everybody and everybody in its place, and a place for everything and everything in its place. Need to treat all the employees equally and justly. Tenure of the personnel means an average employer, so average manager who stays is better than a brilliant manager who comes and goes. Initiative talks about the taking the first step initiative for doing your work, and this talks about a sense of harmony and the participation among all people in the organization. This presentation, thank you. Last 10 minutes
ಹಲೋ ಖದರ್ ಸರ್. ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಎಕೋ ತರ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್, ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೊಸ ಇವೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಆ ಇವೆಂಟ್ ಮುಗಿದೋಯ್ತು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಇವೆಂಟ್ ನಾವು ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ.
ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಇರಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು ಪಾಸ್.
ಹಲೋ ಖದರ್ ಸರ್. ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಎಕೋ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್.
ಹೌದಾ?
ಹಾ, ಮಿಡ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಬಂದು ನೋಡಿ. ಆ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಆ ಫ್ಲೋ ಸೆಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾನು ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ವಾ, ಆಗ ಸರಿ ಹೋಯ್ತು ಮಿಡ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ. ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಎಕೋ ತರ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್. ಇಲ್ಲ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ನೋಡಿ ಸರ್, ಮೈಕ್ದು ಸುತ್ತು ತೀರಾ ಹತ್ರ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಒಂದು ಸೆಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೇಮ್ ಇದೆ.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್, ನೀವು ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹಾಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಲೈವ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು, ಅದರಿಂದ. ಅದೇ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸರಿ ಆಯ್ತು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಈಗ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದೇ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸರಿ ಆಯ್ತು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಈಗ ಇದು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸರ್ ಸರಿ ಹೋಯ್ತು ಸರ್. ಖಾದರ್ ಸರ್, ಖಾದರ್ ಸರ್. ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಎಕೋ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್. ಇಲ್ಲ, ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಆನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಸರ್, ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಲೈವ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮಿಂಗ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಆನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈಗ ವೈಂಡ್ ಅಪ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಸರ್, ಈಗ ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ. ಖಾದರ್ ಸರ್, ಅಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಬ್ರಾಡ್ಕಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ವೈಂಡ್ ಅಪ್ ಮಾಡೋಣಲ್ವಾ? ಖಾದರ್ ಸರ್.
ಹಲೋ
ಹಲೋ
ಸರ್, ಮೊಹಮ್ಮದ್ ಗೌಸ್ ಅಂತ ಸರ್. ಸರ್ ಮೊಹಮ್ಮದ್ ಗೌಸ್, SNM Polytechnic ಸರ್. ಈಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಈಕ್ವಿಲಿಟಿಗೆ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳಿ
ಸರ್. ಈಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಈಗ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನಾನು ಇಬ್ಬರು ಮಕ್ಕಳು ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ, ನನಗೆ ಒಂದು ಚಿಕನ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ದು ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ, ನಾನು ಇಬ್ಬರು ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹಾಫ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ. ಈಗ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ ಹೇಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಒಬ್ಬ ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅವನಿಗೆ ಫುಲ್